What it do, y'all? We back at it again. I missed y'all, man. I really have. I hope you guys have had yourselves an amazing holidays thus far. You know, it's about to be a whole new year, and I wanted to take the time to kind of reflect exactly how things have been, at least for me. I think a lot of times I get caught up in the topics and the things that's going on in the world that I don't really take enough time to really sit down and talk about me as an individual. This is something that I've been doing for quite some time now. And over the course of time, it has helped me be able to connect with others. It's also created a great opportunity for me to be able to explore and to learn new things, either about myself or about, those around me. With that being said, I can't sit here and say that everything has just been, completely sunshine and rainbows, especially when it comes to doing something like this here, right? I, I I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This episode is gonna be completely different than what it is that you guys might have seen before. I want to be able to really give you guys a time to be able to get to know me a little bit more, my character, and overall just go over some reflections as for how my year has been. As you can see from the previous clip that we dropped, I've been really finding myself in the things that I enjoy, and I'm really starting to put that more to the forefront. I used to be that person to where I wanted to do things with so many people, and especially with what it is that I'm doing here, I have the opportunity.
Work ethic at this point in time is giving you content each and every day. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm complete.
The passion to be able to want to do that, but at the same time, I'm realizing that not everyone has the same passions as me, and I can't expect for everyone to put in the same amount of time and effort as I do. I just can't. It's just not realistic. And I'm not going to sit here and be naive at that fact. I've even had people sit there and talk about, how much they want to be a part, but then question whenever I'm putting my money behind it. Yeah, this is something that I enjoy doing, which is why I do it. But, to sit there and critique, I mean, if that's the case, then, so be it. But, don't question my efforts in the process of things. Over the course of time, like I realized that I do need to start to cherish my presence more than anything else. I've spent so much time working on what it is that I'm doing here to where I'm not letting anyone from outside affect that. And, if I could be that person for people to say, hey, I want to be able to do this with you. I want to be able to do that. Yeah, so be, I'm all for it. But at the same time, I don't have time to waste. It's very easy to see, who's all in it and who's not. Like for some people, it's just a hobby for them. It's something that they'll get around to whenever they get around to doing it. And then you got those people where they're really putting in the time and effort to make this shit happen. I would never want to feel as if I can't get to where I need to go because of the fact that this person or whoever it may be is holding me back potentially. This is something that I've been grateful to be able to start with like-minded people such as myself. You start to realize how much more of an effort you want to put towards things that some people might not want to, which it makes things a little tough. But then I think at the same time, just goes to show you, what your real passions are. Over the course of time, especially this year, man, I must say that I think I'm at a place now to where this is something that I'm all in for. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to settle for anything less than what it is that I think you guys, completely deserve. I don't mind putting myself out there. I don't mind opening up. And there's a saying that I live by, which is the title of, this video, in the mix. At this point, I just call it living in the mix. Some people ask me, well, what is that exactly? Well, for me, it's a lifestyle. I really live in the mix, and I've even came across people who aren't necessarily quite doing that themselves. The proof is in the pudding. You feel me? Like, I know there's some people who wasn't doing shit, not doing anything, but I'm glad that I could be that inspiration for them to be able to kick that door down and to, create content for themselves. My biggest thing is to, be that beacon of light for people to be able to gravitate towards. At the same time, man, it's like I'm in this, like I'm doing this, you know what I mean? So there's a few topics that I wanted to be able to get into. One of them being having the right individuals around you, right? I think over the course of this year, I've been feeling almost like a onion, just shaving off layers and layers and layers and layers and getting deeper and deeper to the core of things, right? Like I was saying, there's gonna be individuals who I think are around you for what it is that you have to offer. Some people will sit there and smile in your face and tell you that this is something that they seriously want to be able to do, but then the proof is in the pudding, man. You can't even fake it. It's like, how much of an effort are you really putting into things? How badly do you really want it? And then I'll see it like, don't come to me and sit there and be like, oh, this is something I want to do. How many fucking videos do you have? How much time are you putting in for yourself? How much are you pushing your content out there? Is this something that you really want to do? Or is this something that's trending? Is it something that you see looks like fun, so you just want to be a part so that you're not left out? Because I will say one thing, this shit gets lonely sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, even with some of the things that I want to do, there's been a few things that I've done for this shit that I had to do by myself, because it's like, man, I'm not going to sit here and beg anyone to do things with me, or to, have anyone feel as if they're obligated to do things for me. It's like, either you in or you out, like, respectfully. I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand, and I sure as shit didn't have nobody holding mine. Stuff like this, it really opens my eyes, because, one thing that I've always questioned and wondered is, like, you see these rich people, man, they sit there living their best lives, but then a lot of the times it looks like it's just them by themselves. And I always wonder that. I'm like, how can you have so much to be able to offer and to be able to give, but then not do it? Now I kind of get that. I kind of see exactly where it is that they're coming from. There's a big saying that says it's lonely at the top. And I completely understand that logic. It's not until you're at that point that people want to start gravitating. People want to be a part. People want to pretend that they've always been rooting for you and that they've always been in your corner, but not realizing that there was the ones that was downing you the most. Just at a point now to where, I do, as an individual, cherish my time, cherish my presence more than anything else. And I used to be one of those people that thought maybe this is something that I might not be able to do by myself. That could have been from just a lack of confidence in my own capability. And at this point, man, if I want to do something, I'm going to go out and do it. You know what I mean? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because one thing, you want to be able to conquer is who it is that you have around you. Environment is everything. You want to make sure that the individuals that you're having around you is supporting you through and through. You ain't got time for these people who want to be lukewarm, who wants to sit there and pretend that they're really about doing the things that they're about. And in all honesty, they're not. They just want to sit there and critique. They want to sit there and try and tell you what you should be doing when they're not even doing it themselves. This shit is so funny to me. It really is. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to be able to express this and to talk about these types of things before wrapping the year up. Because, bro, I'm telling you, there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. And it's not until you get to that point, until that level of where everyone is just, seeing how great you are. I'm actually at a point now to where I don't even feel as if a lot of people even deserve my presence to even be around me. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been the type to think about others, to put others first, this, that, and the third. And, of course, I can't sit here and say that there hasn't been some people out there that have shown me love. I'm just glad that, with everything that I've been through, especially throughout the year, it hasn't turned me cold. It hasn't turned me into someone who's cynical or someone who is looking at the future as if it's something that's in the distant end. It's something that I know that I have the capabilities of being able to gravitate towards, and I'm willing to put in the work to be able to do so. Here at Coded Entry, what we're working on being able to do is expand, to be able to have people be a part of something, to be able to express themselves. And for the audience out there, I want you guys to be able to take something away from this. Although I'm going through my trials and tribulations, if I'm able to be of some, enlightenment to others, to either help them get through whatever it is that I've been through, or to help them avoid going through whatever it is that I've been through. And on this journey of success, man, you start to really see people's true colors and how it is that they move and how it is that they go around about things, man. And to be honest, they're really weirdos. Like, there are some real weirdos out there, people who just want to gravitate towards you and just, soak up and try to compete with whatever it is that you're putting out there, man. I say one of the biggest things is staying true to yourself and staying true to what it is that you set your goal in your mind out to be able to achieve. You'll have people that will sit there and try to hold you back, try to distract you, try to knock you off your path. But as long as you're staying true to yourself and you're staying focused and you're getting it out of the mud, man, you'll get there in no time, man. And all the people out there that want to sit there and pretend and act like, they've always been down for the cause, man, it's better to sit there and rely on yourself, rely on God. I will say that trying to rely on others to help you get to where it is that you're trying to get to, if you can, cool. But if not, then that's good. You want to be able to say that where you are is something that you truly deserved and truly worked for. And I've been able to really enjoy the fruits of my labor, as you now see. So, over the course of time, I will say this year is one that's really truly opened my eyes to really going out there and getting it by any means necessary. Like, I refuse to let anyone else's doubts, anyone's limitations to be put upon me and what it is that I'm trying to do. You have a lot of people who will sit there and try to downplay whatever it is that you're doing, all of the simple fact that they can't do it themselves. And you got to call people out on that shit. Like, I'm at a point now to where I am at no point in time holding my tongue. This is a year, I'm not even going to lie, this year, fully and completely, I am putting myself first. 100%. I think I've done enough for people. I've put myself out there. I've done this, that, and the third. And you can't make everyone happy. You know what I mean? There's just going to be some people out there who are just going to hate on whatever it is that you're doing, which is fine. Because honestly, if you don't have people hating on what it is that you're doing, then you might be doing something wrong. I feel like whenever you're going towards your dreams and aspirations, there got to be a little bit of friction. There got to be some sort of resistance. I think that's what makes it all the more worth it when you're able to get past it. You never want to feel as if you're staying stagnant or that you're being limited based off of someone else's beliefs of you. And that's another thing too. You'll also come across people who will sit there and try to tell you who they think you are, right? Like, there's been so many times to where I've even been affected of people trying to put me in a box, trying to make it seem like I'm just your regular average. And I just don't fit in that category. I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't fit in that category. I'm a fly ass motherfucker. I make it do what it does. And it's Klepto Kev, the one and only. And at no point in time will I ever dim my light, especially not over anything that these motherfuckers gotta say. You know what I mean? Like, you sit there and you see how their life is going and what it is that people deem as success. it gets to a point in time to where it's like, when am I going to put myself first? And that's a decision that I think we all have to make at some point in time. And, you know, I'm just thankful for the individuals that I do have in my life, the ones that I do consider to be great supporting individuals in my life that has helped me to reach this point that I'm at now. That's another thing too. Don't ever feel as if your timing, or that this is a race of some sort. You know what I mean? Your timing is your time. I've had a lot of people that will sit there and sit here and tell me,
Oh man, are you still even doing this anymore? Is this something that you're still even doing?
my timing may not be the same as your timing. We're two different individuals. When I decide that this is something that I want to be able to do, that's when it is the perfect time. Not when you say so, because that's when shit starts fucking up. That's when you start making mistakes. Stop getting in alignment with, you know, your ultimate goals, because you're basing it off of somebody else's timing and when they think you should be where it is that you need to be at. You can't let that shit affect you, man. You got to make sure you're staying true to yourself each and every day. Each and every day. Make sure you have the right individuals around you that's going to support you through and through. You don't need any background characters trying to get at the forefront of, you know, your movie. Stay true to yourself. Know yourself. Don't ever let, you know, these people out here try to knock you off your square and try to tell you who they think you are. You know, I really wanted to wrap things up this year on a high note, you know, and what best way to do it? Flying in the air, you know what I mean? And so I know some people are like, man, what's
What's up, man? Where you been, man? Where you been?
don't worry, the content will be dropping. So, you know, there's gonna be a lot more clips. There's gonna be a lot more topics, and there's gonna be a lot more of this as well. Like I said, I want to be able to, you know, have those one-on-ones with you guys and to get y'all in the mix. Like I said, this episode was going to be completely different than what it is that you're used to, man. I wanted this one to be a little bit more in depth as for, you know, what it is that we're actually taking the time to do here. And I'm glad that I'm able to do that. You know, I'm appreciative of all you guys. I'm thankful for all of you guys continuing on supporting. This new year, I know is going to be a big one for not just myself, but for you guys as well that's watching. Without further ado, it has been an absolute pleasure, y'all. I hope you guys have a blessed and amazing new year. And I wanted to be able to let you guys know that Coded Entry is on Twitch. So you guys be sure to subscribe to that. Be sure to follow. There will be a lot more clips dropping, a lot more topics to be talked about. So y'all be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as the Patreon. Our Patreon is amazing. It's good. You can see a lot of exclusive content on there. So you guys be sure to subscribe to that as well. It's your boy Klepto Kev here at Coded Entry. Let's do it.